Hi everybody, back with another VFO set-top box on a Tram D201A, which is the 40 channel crystal controlled version. So got a couple of neat things to show you. Number one, like with the VFO you've seen before and the DDS that gets put in a radio, we're in channel mode, right? We can go to any of the channels we want, right? We can go in, 10 at a time. You can go one channel at a time if you want to. It's not a problem. Let's go back down here to, let's stay on 20. All right. Also, with the mode switch, this customer wanted the mode indicators hooked up. So if you look in your VFO up here, you'll notice it says LSB, USB, and back to AM. So you can tell on the dial, but of course it's just kind of cool to have it come up there. The other thing it does is it sets up the radio for the offset. So you have your sideband offsets, and the VFO generates those offsets back into the radio. So, none of this, when you're in VFO mode, set-top box, none of this works. Clarifier doesn't work, this doesn't work. You can switch over to manual, you can go back to crystal. It doesn't matter, none of it's going to work. And I'll show you how to go back to having all of this work. Notice everything's original. We haven't cut anything out. Channel mode. Well, customer wanted one of the other options, which is channel scan. So let's set the squelch. Okay. And for channel scan, when you're in channel mode, you hold the VFO knob in and it'll say scanning. And there, now it's scanning. Now, we're going to listen and see if we can find a station. Skip hasn't been very good today, so there's not much, as you can see by the S meter. There's not a whole lot of talking, but we'll see if somebody pops in there. So to explain the channel scan looks for audio above the squelch level, and it'll open up just like a squelch does. And in the older tube radios, you have to understand that it may be a little slower than some of the newer radios. So this scan rate we found to be right about at the edge of what you want to do. You can make it scan slower. You can make it scan a lot faster. But we noticed if you scan too fast, the radio just can't keep up with it. So that's kind of one of the things that happen. I really wish there was someone talking on here we could hear, but this is what would happen. Let me open the squelch, and it would stop on the channel. And then after the squelch closes again, after someone stops talking, and then you wait a few seconds and it'll come back up, start rescanning. As before, we've shown you in other videos, you can go, right now we're going up in scanning. You can take your knob, go backwards, turn it backwards, and now you're going down in scanning. So if you miss something, you can always go back here and just go back up, and you're going to go back to going up scanning. Sure, it'd be neat if there was someone on. Come on, Skip Land. Power up those amplifiers. Let's see it. Anyway, okay, let's stop here. Just give it a push, or you can click your mic. I don't have the mic in here, but you could click the mic and it would stop on that channel. Something else to look at. As I said, we didn't do anything, modify the face to this or not. Starting out, the customer wanted DDS VFO in both of these windows, but when he saw the set-top box, he said, oh man, can you make it so that there's just a switch and I can switch between VFO and all of this being original? Sure, no problem. So let's take a look at the back of the radio and I'll show you exactly what we did. Here's the set-top box. See it's running. Okay, set that aside. These two cables, this is a control cable for the options and some things like that. This is the VFO cable, the RF output, so that comes out of the back of the box also. And this switch right here, now you notice we didn't drill any holes to put these cables through. We just sacrificed these two air holes. It goes straight from here, straight down under the board. And then here we have a toggle switch. If you go to the set-top box, and the logic was push the switch up and the set-top box works, push the switch down and you've got 100% original radio. It doesn't even see the VFO, which is pretty cool. So that keeps it really original. Didn't have to put any new holes, didn't have to do anything crazy like that. So, installing it is can be creative. Again, on the VFO, other videos, but I'll show you now. Your VFO RCA connector is here. Sometimes we have a BNC. Some people like a BNC here, and then we make a cable with an RCA at the bottom. And that is clock number 0. And there's 3 clocks in here. This is clock 0. This follows your channels and scanning and all that. Then you have clock 1 and clock 2. Clock 1 you can use for anything you want. From 500 kilohertz to 200 megahertz, you can generate a really nice signal out of that. And it works really well. So you can use that for anything. What we do is when we calibrate this box, once it's all warmed up, we hook this up to our service monitor. It's GPS disciplined rubidium oscillator. And when we put this at 0, you can bet it's NIST calibrated 0. It doesn't get any more accurate. And what's cool is this old tube radio now has that kind of accuracy. Isn't that cool? The other port here is if you want HF receive. And we're thinking about cost effectiveness of leaving this off, but for the first customers, I think until we really decide to leave it off, it's going to stay on. This generates the signal that goes to the HF receiver board and helps do the mixing so that you can receive HF on your CB radio. That's pretty cool. Most people use it for like 40 and 80 meters. They want to listen to some nets and things like that. And it's very simple. It's all menu driven in here. And that's very easy to do. So let's go back to the front of the radio and see if we can catch somebody. Okay, so back again, right? Let's see if we can catch anybody talking. Oh, I want to go up to the VFO. No, let's show this. I switched the switch down, right? And now, let's open up the squelch. And as you can see, that's working. Go over to manual. Ooh, somebody back on there. Let's see if we can go and channel scan. Set our squelch a little bit. And let's go into our channel scan. See if we can catch somebody. Look at that. There you go, boy. Thank you, Skipland. Oh, now they're all going to get in on it. And yes, it works with the level of the squelch. So a little higher squelch, you could squelch that guy out. And you could say, nah, I don't want it to stop on anything unless it's like a, S9 or bigger. So you just kind of, use your RF gain, your squelch, kind of find that happy point. But there, like that. And I'll just get the camera back down here so I'm not moving the squelch control. It's actually stopping on its own. I can tell it, oh, I don't want to hear that. Let's go up, and it'll start scanning. And then once it starts scanning again, stop somewhere else. Let me move that squelch a little bit tighter. A little bit tighter on that squelch. So let's see if we can start scanning it. There you go. And you notice the signal's up a little bit higher than what it was before. You can adjust that and it works really, really good. And if you don't want to be in channel mode, you can go to your settings, go to VFO mode. And now you're in VFO mode. And you can go in any steps you want. You can go to 10 hertz steps if you want. Let's see. You want to go in 10 hertz? No problem. It's a nice little VFO. It works really well. I like the encoder knob on it. Works pretty good. And like I said, you pretty much go wherever you want to go to. You don't want to go where you're not supposed to in transmit. Don't come up here, to 855 and transmit. That would be illegal. Don't do that. Stay in your 40 channels. Actually, you probably just, want to stay on channel mode so you don't have a problem with that. But yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool?